Hi everyone, welcome to AG Triathlon. Today I have with me the winner of the overall age group race in Ironman 70.3 Eagleman, Elizabeth Heinbach. How are you doing, Elizabeth?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. First of all, congratulations on your race. Phenomenal performance. I hear it was a PB by 5 minutes. So yeah, let's get into it. Tell us a bit about yourself.
So I'm Elizabeth Heinbach. I'm 28. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. Yes, I started triathlon, I think, back in 2013 when I was in college. I also swam then. Um, and then took a little bit of a break after college and then got back into it, I guess, with my first half Ironman in 2019.
Very good. So first half Ironman in 2019, and here we are in 2022, winning the races. So that was quite a fast progression in the sport. So yeah, 4 hours 21:37, and I had Matt Marquardt who won the males race. He told us all about the conditions of the race with the rain and the bad weather. Also, that it was uncertain whether there would be a swim or not.
Yep.
So yeah, why don't you tell us a bit about leading into the race, taper, how you were feeling, your thoughts going in?
Sure. I guess this race was a little different because my boyfriend also races. And last year we did all of the same ones. And we just did Ironman Texas together about 6 weeks ago. But this was, I guess, the first race in a couple of years that I was the only one racing, and he came out to spectate and support. So it was almost, I guess, calmer getting ready. I think it's a lot easier when you have one athlete getting ready instead of two. So yeah, race week was pretty uneventful. I think worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, started the drive out Thursday, got out Friday. And yeah, everything went pretty smoothly, minus checking the weather the day before the race. It was showing, I think, thunderstorms at one point from like 2 a.m. until like 6 p.m. So was really hoping this one wouldn't get canceled, but also just trying to, I guess, make peace with whatever did happen. And because, you can't control it. So.
Yeah, exactly. So going in the race, did you have the ambition of winning the overall age grouper field, or that was not on your radar?
Not really. I guess top three was mostly, I wanted to try to earn my pro card. So I really wanted top three, and that was the whole goal, signing up for it. So yeah, winning wasn't really on my radar at all. Just trying to make sure I was safely in the top three.
Very cool. Well, here we are anyways. Yeah, so talk a bit about the race. How was your swim?
Yeah, this one was fine. I did this race a year ago, and I came out about a minute faster this year. So I thought, I came out of the water feeling pretty good, thinking I was in a good spot. And then I got on the bike, and my boyfriend told me I was in fifth. And last year I was first out of the water, so I was pretty shocked.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I think it was a lot choppier last year, so I think it was just a lot faster conditions. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm seeing that you swam at 26:20, and that is enough for fifth. That's quite discouraging for the rest of us. But yeah, and especially that you're an ex-swimmer as well. So yeah, very cool. So, anyways, onto the bike. Is that your strong suit now, or?
Yeah, I think most races typically either the swim or the bike. Yeah, I got out on the bike and I was feeling pretty good. I think about the first hour was pretty uneventful. And then I have no idea what happened, but I started having all this hip flexor pain. And it lasted pretty much the entire bike. I had never experienced anything like that. But I still managed to push, I think, about the power that I was expecting to. So I still came in a decent position, but was a lot harder than I was expecting.
So what was the target power that you were planning to push?
Honestly, I was probably looking for around 230 watts, I think, but I have not looked back and seen what I actually pushed.
Yeah.
I would suspect I was a little below that. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, yeah. And so you talk about hip flexor problems, right? So what do you tell yourself after an hour? You start getting hip flexor problems, do you start worrying that that might impact your run, or do you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because like I said, I never had it before, so I had no idea. And yeah, I was, I think, mentally getting ready for what could have been a pretty painful run. I just had no idea what would happen once I got off the bike. I just knew I wanted off the bike.
Yeah, excellent. Well, we'll talk a bit about the run afterwards, but at what stage do you get into the lead? You take the lead, I guess, on the bike, right?
I might have had it for a little bit. I think I passed the women that were in front of me on coming out of the water, but then I think there were two other cyclists that passed me. So I actually came into T2, I think, in third place.
Right. And are you aware at all about what's going on? Like, are you receiving good feedback from your boyfriend, or just holding your power and that's it?
Holding power, yeah. Because the bike is just one big loop, so there's not really anywhere for spectators to go see you. So I don't think I got any more information until I was coming out of T2. Yeah. Very good. But I knew the two women that had passed me went flying by, so I assumed that they were pretty well ahead of me. Yeah. So you come off the bike. Do you feel your hip flexors when you start running with your bike next to you, or at what point do you find out or realize that it's going to be okay? I did feel the pain running into T2, and so that was making me pretty nervous. But I just tried to keep my head down and got my shoes on and started running, and it did then go away pretty immediately. So that was a big relief. And then I think when I was coming into T2, the woman that was in the lead for the amateur race was coming out. So it was kind of fun because it was almost like getting a carrot dangled in front of you. You know, I'm in T2 and they announced that the first amateur is going out on the run now.
Yeah, so you weren't far behind at all. You were doing quite well.
Yeah, I think she started a bit back, so it was about 6 minutes or so it was pretty decent. Okay. But yeah, but I didn't at that point. I didn't know that.
Yeah, very cool. So then you start running, and you have the first woman on course. Leading you. What happens in the half marathon? At what point do you catch her?
I think I'm trying to remember when it actually happened out there. I know it was around halfway. But yeah, I don't remember too much about it. I was trying to just listen to my boyfriend every time I passed him. So I know the first couple of times I passed him, I was in third, and then I really don't remember at what point that changed.
All right. Yeah. Very good. So at some point, did you realize that you've won while you were on course, or it was just after crossing the finish line?
I think so. The last time I passed my boyfriend was about 2 miles from the finish. And at that point, he wouldn't really tell me where I was. And so I should have known then that meant that I was fine. So I went past him and he's, yelling, just, give what you have left and, try to get up in the pro field. And my mind was just like, where's second? Where's third? Am I safe? So I'm yelling to him, where's the third? And he just completely ignored me. And it's just like, just go. You're fine.
So you were worried about...
I don't think it... Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, I don't think it really sunk in until I hit the finish line. It's hard, especially I think with, everyone starting at different times. You don't know until you finish.
Yeah, we had this discussion couple of interviews ago, actually, with Hamish Longmire from Australia, who I think he broke the tape, or someone broke the tape, but he ended up winning anyways. So it's really confusing. I reckon Ironman should eliminate these wave starts or introduce something for the top age groupers or something like that. Yeah, cool. So then you realize you won at the finish line. In terms of your goal of getting your pro card, did you therefore succeed?
I did. Yep.
Very cool. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Phenomenal. So does that mean that you're going professional immediately or just next season?
I don't think so. Probably next season. I think my coach and I still need to talk about it, but I already had a 70.3 world slot. So I'll most likely still race that. and then make the move. But we'll see. It's still up in the air.
Yeah, very cool. And you mentioned Ironman Texas as well. So is qualifying for Kona maybe still on the books for you or not?
We'll say I tried at Texas. I was not prepared for that heat. I spent time in the sauna, but we had not gotten any heat out here before. And so that marathon was brutal. I was not close to Kona qualifying, and I probably won't do a full again for a while. I think probably halves are more my distance at the moment, at least.
Yeah, so then rest of the season for you, therefore, is just a couple of halves and then world champs, and then most likely next season into the pro field?
Most likely, yeah.
Very cool, very cool. So good luck with the rest of the season, of course, and at Worlds. Yeah, I think with these type of performances, you should be doing quite well. So very cool. And yeah, let's talk a bit outside of triathlon. So you're a mechanical engineer. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, so I work for a pretty small architecture and engineering firm. It's about 100 people, and we mostly design like office buildings and schools, like K-12. And yeah, so I do HVAC design for those primarily. Yeah.
Yeah, so that has nothing to do with triathlon, right? So
nope.
So you mentioned you were doing sports, swimming, and a bit of triathlon in college. Did you drop triathlon a bit while you focused on your early career, or were you always doing it?
Yeah, I guess I kind of bounced around a little. I immediately after college, I wanted to do a marathon. And so I signed up for that because I ran and I swam in high school and then just swam in college and did some triathlons. So I wanted to get back to running. And then in training for my first marathon, I found out I had compartment syndrome in my calves. So I had surgery on both legs in 2017, I think. And so then that delayed my first marathon by about a year. So yeah, then did my first marathon. I think just ran for a couple of years and then came back to triathlon.
Yeah, nice. And you mentioned starting, or this was probably before the interview, but you mentioned to me that you did your first half Ironman in 2019, and you did over 6 hours something, and that you ended up getting a coach. So how has it been working with a coach?
It's been great. Yeah, we have a really great relationship and I really enjoy working with him. When I first started working with him, I had to do heart rate training for running, which I had never done before and did not enjoy one bit. I was always someone I think that had a really high heart rate running. And so learning to slow down enough to run at a low heart rate was really, really difficult. But I did feel lucky that I started doing that during the pandemic. So there wasn't any racing, nothing on the schedule. So that made it a lot easier. And now I'm really thankful that I did it. But the first few months were pretty difficult. But yeah, since then it's been really great. And I think I've grown a lot since starting to work with him. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And at what stage did you decide you want a pro card?
I think we started talking about it probably after Eagleman last year. That was my first race back, I guess, since doing Ohio in 2019. So that was my second half Ironman. Then I did a 4:26 there and was second. And so that was the first time that it was ever really on my radar. So yeah, that was when we started talking about it. And then this year, that's kind of been the focus. Yeah,
very cool. And so what does it mean in terms of your career? Do you take your pro card just to race with the pros, or do you actually intend on fully focusing on triathlon?
At least starting, I think, just to see what happens. I would love if at some point, that could be more of a main career, but I guess we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, Elizabeth, sounds like you're one of the growing stars in the sport. So yeah, wishing you all the best and a lot of success. This year for the rest of your age grouper career, and then if it's just next year, then as of next year in the pro career. And hope to see a lot of good stuff, especially in the 70.3 Worlds this year.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, it was great talking to you. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.